Right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, to the Knox family. We we're about to commence the services for Brother Allen. For all mankind. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, all praises for God, Lord of all worlds, most compassionate, most merciful, Master of the day of judgment. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. Guide us along the straight path, the path of those you have blessed, not those you are displeased with, or those who go astray. Now we're gonna turn the podium over to Akbar Khan. Please, let's keep some order.
Thanks, Lord. Good afternoon. I want to greet you in the language of our ancient forefathers. Assalamu alaikum. And for those that are just here to support the family, we want to say God bless you. And we appreciate you being here in support of our brother. We had a moment where we had to wait. We want you to know that we're not here today to challenge beliefs. We're not here today to point fingers about this or about that. What this is about unity and respect for our brother and the respect for the family. So I know we've been waiting. I'm going to give you a brief synopsis, the Chief Malik lesson. Then we're going to have the music. And then we're going to call Floyd back up to read the obituary. The obituary is self-explanatory.
Yes, it is.
So today we gather to understand the total significance and meaning of the symbolic and illustrious black stone. The black stone that sits at the cornerstone, the Holy Kaaba, and the Holy City of Mecca is merely an emblem to make the world conscious that the stone, once thought rejected, has now become the headstone of the corner. It sits as a symbol of the fact that the Israelites, who were supposed to be denied Malik birthrights and established the divine covenant, has ended up the inheritors of the kingdom of the Almighty Father, God Allah. We speak of none other than the fact that Muhammad ibn Abdul, the founding united of Islam, and a direct descendant of Ismail, did in fact complete his divine mission of teaching his people and the world their supreme duties and benefits, and living in complete peace with Allah and one surrounded. And we, who once called ourselves Blackstone, and whom the world viewed as utterly and rejected people, has now become the headstone of the corner. Listen, what we want you to understand is this, because look, we don't wish to marry into the family of the Palestinian nations of Europe, the asserted gods of their religion, because our forefathers are the true and divine founders for the first religious creed for mankind on earth. We talking about the Chief Malik lesson, we talking about the days of the Black Stone Rangers, Black Keystone, El Ruka, and then Islam. See, you know the reason you go to Head Start, the reason you go to daycare, first grade, second grade, third grade, the reason you go to those different entities because they're preparing you for the next level.
Oh, yes. Right.
So when we were Black Stone Rangers, when they say today we gather to understand the total significance and meaning of the symbolic and illustrious Black Stone, it don't mean then that we wasn't conscious of who we were. When we was Black Stone Rangers, we were just preparing us for the next level. So then when we came Almighty Black Peace Stone, it didn't mean that we wasn't conscious. If we was the stone one star rejected, it just meant that we was being prepared for the next level. See, when we became El Ruka, look, don't get it twisted. When we became El Ruka, because listen, it says the lawful and divine duty of every good man if he is able to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he's an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people. Let it be he or she, according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I had a power invested in my hand, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. So what that means is we didn't know who we is, because when you look in the mirror, it does what? It gives you a reflection. But the reflection gives you an image. And the image, so which one is it? Is it the reflection or the image that tells you who you is? Something to think about on your way home. I said, is it the reflection or the image that tell you who we is? Because we was made in the, look what? The image and the likeness of the Creator. You know, if you go get a picture taken, in order for you to get it developed, they got to take it in the dark room. And once they take it in the dark room, they put it in a solution. You don't hear me. Once they take the picture into the dark room, they put it into a solution. Once they put it into the solution, then they take it and they hang it up in the light. And the light shows them the image. Wait a minute. But then the image got to be developed. Today we gather to understand the total significance and meaning of the symbolic and illustrious black stone. I say then it has to be developed. Black stone range of Black Peace Stone, Arabic and Islam. Each stage is a development. So when people was looking at us and thought we was a negative, that's because we hadn't been developed. But once, listen, once we went into the dark room and was dipped in the solution and came out, hey, son, then we was developed. Now check this out. And I'm gonna set it down. Check this out. If you get a TV, it could be 100 inch, floor, 100 inch TV. TV would be 100 inch. And you can talk about how wonderful it is and all the things it'll do. But if you don't plug it into the power, it ain't nothing but a hunk of junk. But now once you plug it into the power, what happens? You begin to see a picture. That's about. You begin to see a picture. And that picture allows you to go to a program. And that program allows you to focus on a subject. And that subject is, today we gather to understand the total significance and meaning of the symbolic and illustrious black stone. But what's the key to the picture? It's got to be connected to the power. Because if it's not connected to the proper juice, you're not going to never see a picture, and you're not going to be allowed to be a part of a program. Yes, sir. So once we got connected to the power, the picture was no longer negative. The picture was the brother that was a part of a program. And what was the program? The total significance and meaning of the symbolic and illustrious black stone. So they say once was, still is. Here, now, and forevermore. So once you Once you turn, look here, the caterpillar into a butterfly, you can't go back. Do you know if you see a caterpillar, you know, a caterpillar got a bunch of tentacles up on him. But what the tentacles is for, when he goes to a tree, the tentacles let him know if it's strong enough, Brother Jackson Bay, to begin to climb. Yeah, Wallace. He began to climb. Look how Smith, and once he get up, the tentacles let him touch the branches. And what the branches do, let him know if it's strong enough to decide developing a cocoon.
Go ahead on.
But if I'm standing there watching him, oh my, go through that, once I see him in the cocoon and he gets to moving, I'm thinking he's struggling. So I say he needs some help, and I cut the cocoon. And he falls down to the ground, and now he's twice as vulnerable as he was before he started.
Yes.
But if I realize that while he's moving, he's not struggling, he's building up strength. So when the metamorphosis take place, he'll bust out the cocoon himself.
Yes.
Now he's free to go where he wants and do what he wants. So when you were looking at the Blackstone Ranger, we was trying to find a tree. We was putting out our tentacles, trying to see was it strong enough so we can begin to develop a cocoon. So once we went up the tree, we went in the almighty black tree stone. Yeah, we got in the cocoon and we built up strength. And we came out there rooking. And then we came out there rooking, we was able to embrace Islam. So what you need to know is that there's no freedom without a struggle, and there's no struggle without pain. All right, we can go to the music.
Go ahead on.
Not a second or another minute, not an hour or another day. But at this moment, with my arms outstretched, I need you to make a way as you have done so many times before. Through the window or an open door, I stretch my hand to thee. Come rescue me. I need you right away. I need you now. I need you now. I need you now. I need you now. If I ever needed you before, to show up and restore all of the pain that I let slip while I was yet searching the world for more. The true best friend I had indeed. You're my best friend I know in need. I my hand to thee. Come rescue me. I need you right away. That could be a big load. Fear of doing things on my own. The tests and trials that come to make us strong. The feeling of guilt, hurt, shame, and defeat. The weight, the trial that leads upon me. But to know, Lord, that in you I've got victory. I need you now. Lord, I need you now. We need you right now, right now, right now. We need you now. Not another second, not another minute. We can't wait another day. We need you right away.
It's been a great oversight that went down here today. But we'd like to acknowledge the lifetime support of Brother Michael Anderson, Brother Shine. I don't know how they got his name off there. He had the proofreader, so he let his own name off, but I guess it wasn't any interest about him. But we're going to read the obituary. Brother Alan Earl Knox. Called the Big Al. Fat man. Big guy. Gangster. Gang. Gigi. Abishai. But whichever name you call, I guarantee you there's no confusion on who you was talking about. You know, when you talk about events in this city, in this country, you know, he was one of the major players behind the scenes. You know, we talk about history in Chicago. You know, when you listen to Dr. King, when he spoke about formulating the Poor People Campaign back in December of 1967, and they asked him, they say, well, you know, what about the youth in Chicago or around the country? They said, how can you reach them? And he said, well, in '66, when I was in Chicago, it was the Blackstone Rangers that came to my assistance. He said, they work just as good as anybody within the system of nonviolence. And he was explaining to them, as a matter of fact, that the organizations in Chicago, not just the Blackstone Rangers, but the Disciples and the Vice Lord, who made, and I'm going to get on one point, but acknowledging these brothers that help make some history that people don't know about, because a lot of them think that what you see on American Gangster is the real story. But it ain't. It ain't. I guarantee you that. See, all them brothers became a threat because they did something and they challenged, and not only did they challenge, but won against the strongest union in the city of Chicago 50 years ago. The construction industry was and is the biggest industry in the city of Chicago. They always give them something because that's how the politicians pay to get their money. They pass out the contractors to the contractors get money to the campaigns, and it's a vicious cycle. And at that time, the Lord and the stone and the disciples said, wait a minute, we need some of this. Our people, why we can't get some of this? So we shut down every construction site that we could. And we forced the Building Trade Council, right? Forced them to come to the table and sign an agreement to bring in 3,000, I think it was 3,000 brothers right away, and X amount of brothers every month into the unions. That was bringing millions into our community. They just said, lock them up. With them kind of minds on the street, they'll run the city of Chicago. And brothers went to jail wholesale. Wholesale. And now they talk about a letter that was left by a man who said that the FBI and the New York Police Department worked hand in hand to assassinate Malcolm. They ran it one day. And they asked the question, should Jeff Ford or Larry Hoover be released? Of course, they were under attack all the time.
Yes.
All the time. But they want you to listen to an image of negativity and not focus on what came out of a positive. Because it wouldn't be a black-owned construction company in the city of Chicago unless the brothers had to shut them down. We was talking about voter registration way back in the game. You don't get invited to the White House by the president for being a tough guy. They got the biggest army in the world. So understand what the power really was, what the force was. The power is an illusion. You can switch it on and off. But brothers like that are a force. This brother here was a force. You don't get to be a general unless you're a good soldier. You can't take care of little business, how you gonna take care of big business? That's what we was taught. I just want to tell you some of the work that Alan Knox did. Alan E. Knox, Sr., entered his life March 25th, 1951 in Chicago, Illinois, to Robert and Ida Knox. Both preceded him. Alan was the first of their two children. The second born was his brother Samuel, which he and we do love dearly. His other siblings were Charlene, Wanda, and Paul. Alan and Samuel were very close and had a special relationship through their life. They were best friends and went through a life with a lot of the same experiences. They pretty much ran in the same circles every day. Alan attended Forestville High School, Doug.
Got it.
And he worked at Berg Manufacturers while Berg was in the Chicago area. While in high school, Alan met Joyce. I beloved Joyce. And they courted, fell in love, and were married. This union produced 3 children, Alan Jr., Linnell, and Ali. Family meant a lot to Alan, and he loved and cherished his family, his whole family. Alan joined the religion of Islam and followed it the remainder of his life. Alan was under the Islamic guide of Imam Malik Kabah. Alan was an outgoing person. He liked people, loved to dance and have fun. He was acquainted with a lot of people and had a good relationship with most. He would have helped anyone as much as he could. Alan had a few special friends that walked with him from his teen years of life until the end. And they shared an unbreakable bond, had each other's back, and supported each other through thick and thin. These special friends were Rain and Floyd. Although Alan had a few special friends, he had a lot of friends that were very concerned and cared a lot for and about him. He was loved by many. Allah came, called out to Alan and told him, my dear child, it's time to come home with that call. Alan exited his life February 18th, 2021. He leaves to cherish his memory. Children, Alan Jr., Danielle, Ali, Dina, Tanya, Shalom, Sammy, 21 grandchildren, 12 great-grandchildren, a host of nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, and cousins. And he will be missed. No, thank you for the time. No. Go with David. I first say to all the elders, to the family members, to those that love Brother Gigi, do I have your permission to speak? I want to make one thing perfectly clear. That where we at now in our life, we got to be careful of the things that we do and be very precise about the things that we say. I love Brother Larry Hoover, make no mistake about it. But legally, and for everyone to understand, I'm not here speaking on his behalf, because legally, and where he's at, that's his lawyer's place. And so everybody can understand that what you see and what you read in your hand, that's his lawyer, that's Larry and his lawyer that's saying what is, as opposed to what others say they thought it would be. Yes, sir. But one thing that I can say is Floyd has eluded. 2, it was Gigi, it was Sharif, it was my nephew down in the federal penitentiary to put a program together during Black History Month to allow me to come into the institution to speak to all colors, all races, all religions. So I can say this, all of them send their condolences to the family of Gigi. And me, I'm here as a friend of Gigi. So let me speak from there. He's an honorable man. When they made it for me to get permission from the Department of Justice to be able to come behind the wall to speak because they had a vision that one day they would be free. I want you to hear me. And when I went in to speak, I went in to speak on what I know. That is growth development. Ain't got nothing to do with an organization. It got something to do with an individual go from a negative to a positive. As the brothers were being prepared by the brothers inside of the joint to come out, not to get into no nefarious actions. They come out prepared to help one another come out. And the wonderful thing about the death of my friend Gigi, I don't have to stand here because it wasn't a violent death. It wasn't a snake that stabbed him in his back.
Yes, yes.
It wasn't no opposition that think that they can kill him and start a war amongst brothers and sisters.
I ain't got to do no speech and say, stand fast, stand still.
That's right.
Vengeance belong to God.
Yes, sir.
We all can stand here because one thing that y'all all know, and I know from what he told me and others behind that wall, he wants all of us to be at peace as one.
Yes.
And we got to do that so that our spiritual DNA will go to our children and grandchildren, that we all are one.
Oh, yes.
To make it where it's out of place when the individual disrespect our elders and our children. Raping the women and children. Thinking that it's okay to carjack someone.
Yes.
I'm 69. So I'm speaking not at the younger generation. Because we was 21. But it's encompassing on y'all. Don't say you honor him. And don't stand on what made him honorable. It's 2021. We got a sister that's a chicken bone away from being the president. He didn't want her. I don't know what to do. The only time that I got to give to you, like I'm telling you. I don't say, they say gay is a yes or no question. They ask me, then they say, just say yes or no. And I say no. Because if you say no the way things are, they can put a K in front of it and a W at the end of it, and they get you scratching your head and say, he said no. Didn't really mean no. But I say no. Because we got to be precise.
Yes.
With our verbiage. Gigi, God is great. All of us know so many brothers and some sisters that have died behind the wall. He's free, right? Free. Huh? Okay. Man, free. Died on the street.
Yes, sir.
God called him home.
Yes.
I just want to say, man, I want to thank the family for allowing me to say something. And Brother Floyd, I'll meet you on any corner, any parking lot. This you know. With that, I just want to say, to God be the glory. And all you brothers, honor that red like I'm going to honor this blue. And let us merge, and all this ain't no joke. And let us merge together and make it purple. Because I've been told that that's royalty.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And Brother Gigi ain't going down no yellow brick road. The road that he traveled, from what I know, I might get my colors wrong, is ruby red. To God be the glory, and that's my story.
Takbir! Takbir! Takbir!
My name is Samuel Sami Sharif Willis. I'm presently housed in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I get a great many things with Gigi, and a couple of stories that I like to tell you. But on behalf of Minister Rico and all those righteous sons and daughters who have went all around this country promoting love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I want to express to the family that we appreciate you having lent him to us over these many years. And we respect you and really care and have cared so much about him. You know, I have been locked up on more occasions than I like to admit. And on a couple of those occasions, I write plays. Me and brother Rafiq, we used to write all these plays. And we should try to get high. We should try to get Ranger to act in the plays. None of them would never act in the plays. So when I got to Gigi, I ran into the same obstacle. He didn't want to write, he didn't want to act in the plays either. But he would always come to me later after we did the play and say, Whiskey. Now, this brother here was a soft-spoken brother. And he'd come, he said, Whiskey, you should have did this, you should have did that, you should have did that. I said, why you say that before? Well, one time, I was making these guns out of cardboard. I was going all around the joint trying to find some stiff cardboard where I could make these guns for my play. So Gigi said, Risky? I don't think you should do that. Well, after I got out of the hole, the first person I saw, and he came up and he had something behind his back. And he said, do you need some more of this here? It's cardboard. I was on the road last night, and I was talking to one of the brothers, many calls that I took on the way. And the brother said, Sharif, you know one of the best things about Gigi? See, we got a lot of gourmet chefs that have been locked up. They have been able to make recipes out of little nothing, and they turned into real delicacies. Gigi had a specialty. His specialty was tuna milk. Now, couldn't nobody else make no tuna milk like Gigi. As a matter of fact, he might get upset in the family of those of us who cook together if one of us tried to make a tuna milk without asking him to make the tuna milk. And it was a good tuna milk. If you have not had that tuna milk, you missed out on a delicacy. I like to say that we used to sit down and talk. We used to work in the laundry, and we was folding these sheets. And we were talking once about what we might do to try to help correct some of the different chaos that was existing. And he said, recently, it starts with one family at a time. He said it starts with one family at a time. He said, we can start to get the families to come together, start dealing with their own. Then we might have something. I'm pleased to say that in Minneapolis, I give away 900,000 boxes of food every week. We have several other programs that we do, all geared towards aiding and assisting our people. But I'm proud to say that one of the programs that we've started is One Family at a Time. It was spawned and thought of by Gigi. And I just want to leave you up there.
We want a brief presentation by Brother Sheik Jackson, followed by Brother Walter Muhammad, and then Sadiq, and close it out. You, okay. Come on, Sheik.
Islam. Assalamu alaikum. We're not going to take but a minute because there are other great speakers that have a message. And when it's like this with me, I want to talk to the youth. Okay. Gang, we did our talking, our conversing, and we had many understandings because I've known him for years. I want to say a word to the youth today, because the child of today is not the child of the 40s, the 50s, the 60s,
so right.
and the 70s.
So right.
I'm here to tell you we got a different child
Yes, yes.
on the manifest.
Yes.
You understand what I'm talking about? G, Lord, and all of the ones that knew us, we've been there and done that. We got the message and the lesson.
Yes.
But sons and daughters, you didn't quit obeying your father and your mother. You don't want to do what mama said no more.
No, no.
Huh?
No.
Dad want to talk to you. The first thing you want to do is call the police on him,
Yes.
so they can come cuff him up and walk him out your house in handcuffs and under embarrassment. Now, you understand what I'm talking about? We done got away from honoring our what?
Father.
And our mother.
That's right.
That what? Thy days.
Yes, yes.
The days is going to be what? Longer. Upon the earth land, which the Lord thy God, Allah, have given thee. That ain't in the book for good reading. That's a matter of fact. And when you get to the point where you think you don't have to obey your father and your mother, you in trouble already.
Yes, yes.
Huh?
Yes, yes.
Talking about heaven and hell. You didn't start it out in hell when you step away from the orders and instructions of who? Your father and your mother. My book said a child is as perfect as the mother is.
Oh, yes.
Let peace be still.
Peace be still. All right, all right.
Brother Walter Muhammad.
Thank you, sir. I hope I don't need In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to Allah, the cherisher and the sustainer of all the worlds. He that begets not knoweth he begotten, and there is none like him. And I bear witness that if you pray day and night, you could never thank God enough for all that he's bestowed upon you. Change! The wisdom of God, like electricity, has to be transferred through some medium or form. He used his crown of creation to transfer the knowledge of God. We are the crown of creation, man and woman. Now I'm going to try and take a turn here. I thought I knew Alan Earl Knox. I was wrong. I made a mistake. But now I really do know Alan Earl Knox. I've been knowing him forever. Not literally, but 65, 66, 67. So when I received the word that he had returned to Allah, I asked myself, am I Earl Knox? Are you Alan Earl Knox? Or did you just come for the funeral? Are you Alan Earl Knox?
Yes, sir.
Because see, if you're not, you might be in the wrong place.
Yes, yes.
If you in the likeness and image, and we're supposed to be brothers and sisters.
Yes,
So I went down memory lane and I chose the people that I knew that would be most closest to Alan Earl Knox to make sure when I open my mouth today, I don't make no mistakes. I ain't gonna slip when somebody say, come here, brother, let me tell you, you got that little part wrong. I ain't got none wrong. I'm ready. I called in Floyd.
I just was looking for him.
Davis Bank. Ranger James Williams. Jerry J. Walls. And Kathy Williams, Ranger's sister. Now, ain't no mistakes now. Jerry stayed next door to Joyce. And Kathy and Floyd and James know everything about Alan Earl Knox that Joyce don't know. I know I got it right. I didn't know what school he went to, but I didn't really care. What I was trying to find out was what kind of student was he. When we was going to school, it was 4 sets of grades. E's, G's, F's, and U's.
Yes.
E's was for excellent. G's was for good. F was for fair. And U was for unsatisfactory.
Yes.
When we was coming up, you ain't allowed to come home with a U.
Better know it.
Our parents don't allow you children. So you can't be one. Oh, by the way, Alan was an EG student. I found that out. That's why I know I'm Alan Earl Knox. I'm an EG student. Are you an EG student? Okay. Then I wanted to find out, how did he come to the Blackstone Rangers? How did he do that? Well, I come to find out, he was a bossa nova playboy.
Yeah. All right.
What is a bossa nova playboy? I didn't heard of Casanova, but I never heard of bossa nova. Come to find out, it was a band of brothers. There was a little tight-knit group that had met another group called the Folk Honers.
That's right.
Folk Honers suggested to them that it might be in their interest to be Folk Honers bossa nova. So they decided that, well, that's a good idea. So he come by way of Blackstone via bossa nova playboy.
Yeah.
We all know what a playboy is, don't we? I'm a playboy. I'm Alan Earl Knox. Are you a playboy? Are you a playgirl?
All right now.
We love being playboys.
I love being a
I
playgirl.
wonder sometime am I a senior playboy? Now,
I love that
I
one,
asked
baby.
myself, where did he come up with this name, Gang? Short for gangster.
Yeah.
Big Al, General Gang.
Yes.
I understand the general part. How did you pick gangster to be your name? I asked Lord. That's right. They say he added gangster to his own game. And then I said, well, Big Al, and the most noted gangster in the city of Chicago was Big Al, and he was a gangster referring to Al Capone.
Yes.
So I said, well, that might not be right. So don't add that in, Muhammad, but it do fit. A black Big Al. Gangster. I ain't made no mistakes yet, have I?
No, sir.
All right.
Treat.
Down on 39th Street,
All right now.
where Big Al roamed,
Yes,
on Lake Park,
all right now.
3939, 3983, 4040, 4155. All right. Oklahoma, Stronghold, Blackstone Rangers. Down the street, Disciple. Everywhere down the street is Disciple. Everywhere down the street is Blackstone. We need to try and find a way to separate ourselves from 5-point and 6-point work. We should have been 11-pointers a long time ago.
Amen.
We're a little late behind the 8 ball. It just gives me great pleasure to be Alan Earl Knox. Now, you know I'm not the Alan Earl Knox. So when I speak of being Alan Earl Knox, I'm talking about in your heart and in your head. This is the thing that puzzled me the most. Normally, gangsters have jail cells on a regular basis until the federal government decided
All right
to
now.
dismantle the hierarchy of the Yoruban tribe or the generalship. Alan Earl Knox never been in jail.
30 years.
Can you imagine that? I don't mean that like that. I'm trying to say I mean that. Look,
Okay.
I own a jail cell. I really do. Alan Earl Knox has never been in jail. Now this is a gangster. How do you do that? Because maybe his gangster was a gentleman.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe his gangster was, he was just a good brother.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe his gangster was a gentleman. I'm Alan Earl Knox with a cell. He didn't get one. How do you do that? How do you come through Blackstone without a cell? How do you come through Disciples without a damn cell? They made them for us. So I finally come to the conclusion that it's really not a bad deal to be an Alan Earl Knox. So that little history class, it really gives me great pleasure to tell you all. Now, in closing, he come through the Bossa Nova Playboys, the Pocahontas, Black Keystone Nation. You know, Blackstone Range and Black Keystone Nation, two different things.
Yes, sir.
See, if you, Black Keystone Nation being Pocahontas, that's over with. Bossa Nova, don't you open your mouth. And all your other Casanovas and your Crusader King, whoever you was, your nation now. You can't work that angle no more. You can't click over here and be over there.
That's right. That's right.
This is one body. This is one unit. This is what Alan Earl Knox was good at. Coalescing people.
Right.
Bringing them together and uniting them. Now, then he come to something in the transformation of the Black Keystone Nation called the Yoruban tribe. This is the Moor Science Temple of America, and this is the branch that had been associated with the Black Keystone Nation. This is the transformation attached to the religiosity or the spirituality of the knowledge of God.
Yes.
Under the religious dictate of Islam.
Yes.
He loved it. Unfortunately, he was incarcerated for damn near ever.
Yes. Yes.
The best years of a man's life,
Yes.
they seem to have consumed him. I don't understand how in the world they could dare call us terrorists. I mean, no guns, no airplanes, no country. We sit on a street corner and then a cocktail lounge in a pool hall, and we terrorists. It just don't make no sense to me. But that's the one they sold, and they closed this door for a long time.
Yes.
And he came home, and I had the unfortunate misfortune to see him and Floyd and James at a funeral at A.R. Elite. And when I seen him, I'd already embraced Floyd and already embraced James. And here come Alan bringing up the rear. He did like this. And you know, Alan, oh no.
Right.
And I could feel in his embrace,
Yes. The love.
I'm Alan Earl Knox.
That's right.
Oh yeah, by the way, you might not know, I'm also a Muslim. I forgot to mention that little detail. But because I'm Alan Earl Knox, I thought maybe you might have known that. May God bless you, may God keep you. I'm out.
No, Chuck.
Okay, we about to bring Brother Akbar Khan on, but just one thing. See this pyramid, Ms. Emma? If you knew the words, at the very top was Almighty. It wasn't saying we Almighty.
That's
like
right.
we don't.
That's right.
But it was giving honor to God first.
That's right.
And may He shine light down on this everlasting.
Yes, yes, yes.
Good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon.
Greet you in the words of our ancient forefathers. Assalamu alaikum. And to those of you that are just here to support the family, I want to say God bless you too. A eulogy. Oh, wait just a minute. I'm trying to act like I'm still a youngster. Yeah, you had me thinking I was still a youngster.
You can't sell that.
It said eulogy. And it said, it say, though your eulogy doesn't have to read like an obituary or give all the basic information about the life of the deceased, you should touch on a few key points, such as what his family life was like, what his career achievements were, and what hobbies and interests mattered the most to him. For his family life, I know he loved his family and he loved his children. His career achievements was just to be a good brother. See, let me tell you something. If you look at obituary, right? You see at the bottom, it says sunrise, March 25th, 1951, sunset, February 18th, 2021. But whenever you look at an obituary, it always had the time a person was born, the time they left, but it always has a dash. Between the time you were born and the time you leave, there's always a dash. And so right now, we are between the dash. And so when you read the obituary, you don't want somebody to read it and be looking like, is this the same thing? No. Because when you read the obituary, you're getting in touch with the person, whether you physically know him or not. The reason we talk about spirituality and the difference between spirituality and religion is the mere ideas of men. But the reason we talk about spirituality is because if I tell Floyd right now, I say, Floyd, one day you're going to be with our brother Gang. He can see being with Gang one day in his mind. So what words have the power to do, just like you can hear me say this, that, and the. You can hear them, but you can't see them. Because words are in spirit form. Now physically, you feed yourself with food. But spiritually, you feed yourself spiritually. So when I say, Floyd, one day we're going to join Gang, we can see joining Gang in our mind. So what the words have the power to do is to create an image in my mind. And that image is strong enough, I can see the day I join him. So that means spiritually, I done been fed because there's some information transferred, even though you can't see it with the physical eye, from one human being to the other. So part of Gang's achievements, I remember when he first come home. Before he came home, Floyd came to me one day and he said, listen, Gang want to talk to you and he needs you to do some things for him. What I did was not important. I ain't boasting of things of attainment that have no work. What I did, I was supposed to do. So I talked to the brother on the phone. And then when he came home, he asked me to come see him. And when I came and seen him and sat down, the first thing he said was, he said, brother, listen, any differences we may have had, anything we didn't see eye to eye, he said, listen, I want us to put that behind us. I said, look, man, I ain't never had no problem with you guys. I said, because what people thought was a curse was actually a blessing. Because it sent me on the run for 7 years. At least 6.5. Got a free flight back to Chicago. And then, look, when I went to court, Floyd, not Floyd, but Rick, Abu. See, a lot of people didn't know. Abu and Rasul, I was the first one to testify before the grand jury. He had a transcript. That transcript say, see, a lot of people want to know what happened. The transcript said, we ain't seen Baba, Philip Davis, and Melvin Lamb. I don't know when the last time I seen Melvin Lamb. But the indictment, the investigation was from October 1984 to October 1989. 5-year investigation. So when I went in front of Judge Holman, he said, listen, the man proved he was in California, but y'all can't prove he was in Chicago. He said, y'all got 4,000 hours of tape, and the man is only on 3 of them. One of them, he talking to his brother. The other one, he talking to another brother for about 2 minutes, and the other one is inaudible. We don't even understand it. Too much noise in the background. So the judge said, if you can't prove, he said, we got the pictures of the man, one of them in front of the fort, one of them getting to a car. He said, we ain't got no date or time on it. He said, so we don't know when they was taken. So if y'all can't prove that this man was in Chicago for the last 5 years, because he didn't prove he was arrested in California, he said, we're going to have to dismiss him out the indictment. See, let me tell you something. Everything that God put life in got an aim and a purpose. Your aim is to live, but what is your purpose in life? Malcolm X said, if a man ain't found something he'll die for, then what is he living for? And dying just don't mean physically. You can die mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and that's worse than physically. It's hard to live all your life a good person. Because if you read the Bible or the Quran, they say, look, temptation is strong in the heart of man. When I first met Gang, he used to come on 43rd Street. He used to be with Corn then. Yeah, y'all remember Corn? Popcorn. That's who he used to be with. Him and Corn. Him and Corn was like peanut butter and jelly. And they used to come down on 43rd, because that's where I'm from, 43rd. Pro Trey don't play. But anyway, me and this brother had a lot of encounters, man. And when he came home, I ate an assistant, talked to him the day before he made his transition. And look, he ain't gone.
No.
If you here thinking he gone, you in the wrong place.
Right. Yes, sir. That's it.
He ain't gone.
No.
All you seeing is the shell. But we know where our brother is.
Right.
Because they say you got to know your brother in the light as well as the dark. You know what I'm saying? That's my main man back there. Mike, raise your hand, Mike. That's my main man back there. Anything I need his assistance with Gang, Big, anything, he gonna be right there. I ain't even got to worry about it. Ain't no question. Ain't no doubt or contradiction. He gonna be right there. And everybody should have a main man. Now listen, I'm gonna give you a suggestion. They say suggestions are free. You only pay for them when you don't take them. So I'm going to give you a suggestion. You need to get you at least 6 friends. Because when you make your transition, you're going to need somebody to carry your casket. So if you ain't got nobody in your corner, or you ain't got no main man, then I suggest before you leave here today, you get you 6 numbers. And you try to get acquainted with somebody. Because what this room is filled with is love. See, one of Gaines' hobby was dressing. Him and Floyd, oh man, they used to dress. Listen, I remember the Birth of the Nation. Look here, they would have got them tailor-made suits. You understand, with the stripes, with the gaiters, coats to match. And look, ain't no sense in lying. We here today to tell the truth.
Yes, right.
A lot of us was jealous and envious of them brothers.
That's right.
Because boy, they used to be, no, we wasn't haters. Some of them were, but we wasn't haters. But we so, look here. Say, them brothers so can dress. Look here, George. This is what they need to know about you. Even though they don't know you, this is what they need to know. I like watching the History Channel. I like watching nature. I like watching nature. I'm going to give you an assignment. Look this up when you go home. Or do it on your phone when you leave out of here. It's called a Mariana snailfish. Remember that. Mariana snailfish. That's who Joyce is. Let me tell you about the Mariana snailfish. It's the only fish in the world that can go to the bottom of the ocean. It's the only fish in the world that can tread on the bottom of the ocean. No other fish in the world can go that deep, and no other fish in the world can stand that pressure. This is the only fish that can go to the bottom of the ocean, go that deep, over 25,800 miles. The only one can tread on the bottom of the ocean, and the only one that can take that pressure. Can't no nothing else, Rafi, nothing else. Human or fish can go in the water, go to that depth, and sustain that pressure. And if you try it, you're going to join out as sooner than you think. So that's how we built. We the only one built that's able to go that deep and withstand that pressure. But they didn't put any pressure on us. Brother Hatsmith. Brother Hatsmith come from a background of disciple. But if you talk to him, you wouldn't even know it. Brother Wallace come from a background of a disciple. But if you talk to him, you wouldn't even know it. See, a lot of us knew we was brothers back then. But that kind of tail probe was throwing a wrench in the game and getting in our ear like with them Williams O'Neill and having us thinking we was enemies and telling Highsmith, Melvin trying to kill you, and telling me Highsmith trying to kill me. But if you don't know your brother, then your ears are turning to garbage cans. And somebody can dump any kind of trash in it. So don't let nobody use your ears for garbage cans. Don't let nobody put any kind of trash in your ear. You want the truth. This brother here was a good brother, man. I'm talking about lived a good life. You know, an eagle. I had no idea. An eagle can see 10,000 miles away. Yeah, it can see a mouse 10,000 miles away. You know how good your eyesight got to be to do that? And an eagle is the only feathered bird that don't run from a storm. Storm, tornado, or hurricane, he just flies to the warmest part of the sky and he just glides to the storm path.
Right now.
Yes, sir. Talk, sir.
So is you able to see the storm coming? Because you either in one, coming out of one, or getting prepared for one.
Right now.
So you need to be like the eagle, to be able to see it coming and rise above it and deal with it till it passes.
Oh.
So look that up, the Mariana snailfish. No other fish in the world can go through the depths or accept the pressure. And we absorb a lot of pain, man. We take a lot of pain. And it takes a lot. We can bend, but we don't break. You know the greatest thing they hate is to see us like this. To see us together. To see us loving one another. To see our purpose is to respect and treat each other like human beings. And don't just forget the Knox family today. Contact Shine, who's been a great supporter all the way, and he just supported GG. Shine done supported plenty of brothers behind the scenes. A lot of brothers don't give him his credit, man. But he done helps, you understand me, support a lot. He done buried a lot of brothers that aided their family, assisted their family. So before I close, I'm going to tell you this. Just don't abandon Joyce today. She ain't really a people person, but get in contact with Shine or Floyd or Ranger. See if she needs some assistance. Check on her. See if she all right. Just don't let it end today or when we leave up out of here. Because if you truly love your brother, if you truly love Gigi, then we going all the way, man. We marathon runners. We don't give up. We don't get out. We going all the way to the finish line. And listen here, I don't know if I'm going today or tomorrow. But I tell you this, I'm ready. I ain't volunteering. I ain't in no hurry. But the best part about being ready is staying prepared.
All right now.
So, you know what I'm saying? Listen, man, let me say this too. I've been a drug counselor 27 years. Drugs is destroying our community. It done changed the face of the earth. So if you got a family member, you got a loved one, you got somebody needs some help after this service, pull me to the side. I would gladly and be more than happy to try to get them some help. You understand what I'm saying? And I ain't the block of wood. I ain't pointing the way. I've been there, done that.
All right. All right.
You understand? For 27 years, I ain't touched nothing stronger than a Pepsi. So all praise is due to Allah. I ain't ashamed of who I am. I'm grateful for where I come from. I'm talking about that demonstration had me trapped. I couldn't see past it. But I thank God today, man, where I'm at. I'm grateful. Grateful to be here. So listen, don't let the relationship with gangster, gang, GG, don't let it end right now. Don't let it end today. This relationship is forever. So listen. You know I can't sing, so y'all bear with me. I ain't gonna say too much. I just happen to see this in a movie, and I like the words. So this is what it said. It's been a long day without you, my friend. Tell you all about it when I see you again.
Yes, yes.
It's been a long day Without you, my friend. Hey, GG. Hey, gang. Hey, Big Al. Tell you all about it when I see you again.
I don't want to interrupt nobody. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتون إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلق من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تسألون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد. The praise, all of it, belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Him. We seek His help. We seek refuge with Allah from the evils of ourselves and from the bad results of our own actions. Those of us whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He chooses to guide, know for sure that you are guided. But those of us on the other hand, whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses not to guide, no matter what you say and what you think, you don't have no guidance. And I bear witness openly, without being forced, that nothing, not that there's no God but Allah, that nothing has the right to be worshipped except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because whatever it is that takes you from the true remembrance of Allah, that's your God. So you can't say there's no God but Allah, that there's no God that has the right to be worshipped except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I bear witness with the same breath, openly, without compulsion, that Muhammad ibn Abdullah, founder of the Uniting of Islam, is indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's last slave, servant, and messenger, and prophet sent to mankind until the day of judgment. Right. I didn't want to be here today. I'm here probably on 3 accounts, and I'm going to take my time today. All of us in here, all of you men, Blackstone, El Rukin, Moorish American,
All of you are here. We are here because one man brought us together.
Yes.
Jeff Ford.
Yes, sir. All right now.
And none of us in here are him. Right? None of us in here has the influence that he has. He brought us all together. And we are here because in all of our eyes that know, this is as close as we're going to get to Jeff Ford.
That's right now. Right.
You know it. It ain't nobody in here going to die that's going to get the respect that he gets. Except Chief Malik. I want to be clear. Crystal clear today, because this is a day that probably won't come about, at least from me, for a long time. And I don't mean to offend nobody, but today, we ain't going there. We're going to tell the truth. I tried very hard to wiggle away from this day. I didn't want to come. But I had to come. But this is not an Islamic funeral.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
We would have been gone.
Right.
But go pay respect. But what led me to really come? What led me to really come was the son of Chief Malik. That political prisoner. That little boy. Wakita. That little boy that I raised. That you incarcerated for 30 years. For nothing. And I had a conversation with him about Gigi. But before we got to the conversation, I've been chewing him out. Telling him, you better do this. You better do that. If you come home and you ain't on this and you ain't on that, I'm away from you. Because I'm away from everything that does not have nothing to do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I'm away from it. You can talk about me. It's okay. They talked about Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So if there ain't nobody talking about you, then you ain't standing on nothing. If they're not talking about you, you're not standing on nothing. And if the truth hurts, you should leave.
Right now. Talk.
And I ain't showing out. But I got my brothers in here today. And you, where you at? You, Floyd, Ranger, Abercon, you, looking for some more. I ain't through with you either, Hal Smith and Rafi. I'm the product of what y'all raised.
That's right.
Huh? I'm the product, Gigi, directly Gigi. I'm the product of what they raised. I was a little boy. I followed their orders. Y'all gave me something. Y'all gave me something a lot. I knew how to navigate through life, this, that, and other. I'm not going to never put my father down. He taught me something too. But y'all taught me something. I didn't grow up with no brothers. I found my brothers with y'all. Huh? And y'all taught me something. Now I'm going to teach you something. I owe you that. I don't owe you no money. I don't owe you no money. Any money that you think you gave me, let me know what it is so I can pay you back in full, because it wasn't much. Huh? We got a very serious affair to deal with. And when I talked to Wakita, he chewed me out like never before. He got tired of me. He literally got tired of me. Because I'm telling him, if you come home on anything other than Islam, leave me alone. Because I know we all going where he at. And if you think it's a circus, if you think it's a carnival, you in for a rude awakening.
All right now.
It's rules of engagement around here. It's rules of engagement of worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the correct way. So I'm going to skip over because we've been long today. But I'm going to take my time, because the last time I talked to you all a couple of months ago, huh? And I'm going to apologize to the Muslims because we jacked off our Jumu'ah today. We were supposed to cut off everything and go worship our Lord. But for him, we stayed. May Allah have mercy on us and forgive us. Because it's serious. We missed our Jumu'ah prayer to be here.
Okay.
And I feel it. We supposed to be gone. We could have been made Jumu'ah and came back.
Yes.
Now, we could have came back.
Yes.
But we didn't want to be disrespectful and be absent. And I didn't want to be disrespectful and not give this message from Wakita. And the reason why it's so pertinent is because of the things that I heard. Gator got up here, and Highsmith is here. Gator, after he chewed me out, and he said, I only got 15 minutes. I say, so I'm sorry. So what's next? He said, I ain't got time to tell you what I called you for. He's screaming at me. He's literally screaming at me. But anyway, he said when he got off the phone, everybody on the deck where he was hung up the phone and ran to him like, Mustafa, are you okay? And I heard it in his voice that he was sweating because he knew he ain't never talked to me like that. Never. But he screamed at me and said, what you think, I'm one of them clowns on the street? I ain't never been fake at nothing that I've done in my life.
That's right.
You think I've been in this jail for nothing?
Yes.
I am a Muslim. You're talking about if I don't do this, I don't do that, you're going to abandon me. He made it plain to me and said, you can't abandon a Muslim.
That's right.
Good teacher.
You're a little boy like my son. But this day he chewed me out. And so he said he would try to call me tomorrow. I looked on my phone and I seen that I had a missed call. And his sister said, he tried to call you again. I said, no, I talked to him. She said, when? I said, earlier today. He tried to call you again. What happened? The CO in the prison knew that he was upset. The Muslims knew that he was upset and said, call that brother back. Because you may have offended him. Call him back. They gave that little boy 5 minutes to call me back, and I missed that call. But he called me the next day. Now he can get to the meat of why he called me. And here we go. He wanted me to tell all of you brothers. He said, tell them about the 5 and tell them about the 6. Ooh. You don't think about the 5. You don't think about Blackstone. You don't think about the 6. You don't think about GD. Right? He said, that ain't what I'm talking about. He said, tell them about the 5 pillars of Islam. And tell them about the 6 articles of faith. Huh? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Buniya al-Islam ala khams. Shuhada an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Wa aqimu as-salah wa atu zakat wa hajj al-bayt wa samu Ramadan. The Prophet of Islam, the last prophet of Islam. There is not another prophet after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you think that there is another prophet after Muhammad, you're wrong. And in this noble book, listen, brothers, listen, please. In this noble book, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he is not the father of any of your men, but he is the messenger of Allah and the seal of the prophets. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the seal of the prophets. I'm giving you some truth. If we go over on this, we just gonna go over. I'm gonna give you some factual stuff. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he spoke to Moses, he spoke to him from behind a bush. The miraculous birth of Jesus, who is not the son of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and no disrespect to no Christian in here. You have your belief, we have our belief. There's nothing to fight about. To you be your way, to us be our way. We won't fight about that. We believe that Jesus is a messenger of Allah who was born without a father. This is the fact. But this is another miracle of Allah's prophets. Sallallahu alayhi salam. Muhammad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the revelation to him through the angel Jibril in the cave of Mount Hira. Right. Huh? And when the revelation came down, he couldn't handle it. When the angel told him to read, he said, I can't. Right. Until he pressed upon him and told him some things to recite. And he recited it. And he ran home to his wife because it was mind-boggling and altering to himself, such that he had to lie down and seek refuge in his wife and in her uncle. What's my point? When you are a prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commissions you to be that prophet. I'm going to be clear with you, brothers. Take it or leave it. Don't let your ear be a garbage can, huh? Right now. Don't let your ear be a garbage can. I would ask any of you, and I'll give you the mic. When did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give revelation to know what you are? When and where? I've been there. I'm not standing here with you as an ignoramus. Time never was when man was not. If life of man at any time began, a time would come when it would end. The thoughts of Allah cannot be circumscribed. Things like this. Huh? Time never was when man was not. That's a lie. There were things here before man. Huh? So now you, okay, we good with that one. Yeah, that one is wrong. If that one is wrong, all of it is wrong. Found something wrong in this book. If that one was wrong, if the first chapter in that book, and why did you have to call it the Quran? Here's the Quran. Didn't Allah give you a name of a book? He didn't name 2 Qurans, did he? No. So let's stop playing games. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, I got it written here. And I'm not going to even, I can't open the book, but I got a letter right here. Where you at, Tanky? Somebody passed this letter. This is a letter that I address to Imam Malik. To Imam Malik, to Chief Malik. Now, this letter goes directly in her hand. I haven't mailed it. You mailed it to your father. Why? Why? Because if he does not send a message out here to all of us who love him, and don't you dare try to say I don't love him. You'll never get away with it. That's why I'm glad she's here. For if you twist my message, she's going to untwist it. Huh? If you twist my message, she's going to untwist it.
We ain't gonna twist it.
Don't let me get off track. Because the 5 pillars of Islam that my little brother told me to tell you about. And foundation is everything, yeah? Right. This building was built with a foundation, yeah? They poured the concrete. You had to let the concrete settle before you erected the building, correct? If they would have poured the concrete, put the pillars down, put the stacks on top, built on top, it would have crumbled by now. But they left the concrete there to dry so there can be a firm foundation. Your firm foundation in Islam begins with the correct understanding of La ilaha illallah. That nothing has the right to be worshipped except Allah. You can avoid it. You can close your ears. You can let your ears be a garbage can and everybody can dump trash in it. But if you open your mind and you open your heart and let Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala come in there, let him work on you. has he worked? He's been working on you, but you've been rejecting him. You want to add something to this religion when you don't have a right. I'm starting with Gator. Would you would have came to one of your GD meetings? Would you would have brought some Blackstone literature to your GD meeting? You wouldn't have did.
And this real talk.
We gotta go here today.
No.
And we gotta go.
Hey, I got Floyd here as a witness. I called Floyd this morning.
Make it quick.
It's real quick. I called to address your concern. I called Floyd this morning. I said, Brother Floyd, I said, man, before I come into your house, is it all right if I wear my blue? And you know what he told me? He said, Gator, you made me laugh, I ain't laughed since 1988. Be there.
Okay. Point. But he wasn't gonna stand up in one of them GD meetings. He wasn't gonna be spitting no, today we gather to understand the total significance. He wasn't gonna do that. They'd had High Smith, they'd had your head on the platter. And I don't know your literature, but if I would have came to the fort